Hey friends, Worm the Pale Rider here today to bring a grim discussion to the table. And that discussion is, will Destiny 2 ever get a banger to the degree that we got with Forsaken? Now, of course, why did I start thinking about this topic? Basically, the weapon talk that we had going on yesterday made me think about like the good old days back when we had double primary system and all the special weapons were basically heavies, blah blah blah. Sarcastic, by the way. That was a miserable time. And Forsaken, they changed that. And then I started dwelling on Forsaken, and how we had that major shift. We finally got back special weapons, which was fantastic. There was the Go Fast update. Like, we got a lot of stuff in Forsaken that we just hadn't ever had in Destiny 2. And Forsaken was debatably one of the best seasons, or one of the best expansions Destiny 2 has ever had. And I still remember it fondly. And it's unfortunate that you can't play a lot of the campaign and stuff. But I mean, Forsaken was still one of the best expansions in Destiny 2's history. Of course, why was it so good? We got a bunch of new content, new exotics. That was the days of Black Armory, the Gambit weapons, which ironically we have this season. Pardon me. What was some of the other ones? I can't remember the other ones. I know there's another set of armor and weapons we got. This fantastic, but mainly the Black Armory weapons, the Gambit weapons. Those bring back memories, right? The Menagerie, the Menagerie was the greatest 6-man activity ever, and I will die on that hill, 100%. But why was it? Oh, and the raid too. Last Wish, right? Why was it so good though? Obviously, I've explained all these reasons why, but what is the actual reason why Forsaken was over delivered, so to speak, and why it was so good? Why was there so much content packed into it? It's quite simple. Destiny, right before Forsaken, was dead. I mean, this is kind of nothing new. Like, if you are a hardcore D2 player, you know that the first few months of Destiny 2's release, up until basically Forsaken, it sucked. There was no random rolls. Everything was slow. The Crucible had a miserable 4v4 game mode. What else? The story was okay at best, but I mean, it wasn't fun to play. It wasn't fun to play at all. And really, that is the reason why I think Forsaken was so very good. Because Forsaken was the revival key that Bungie needed to bring back Destiny 2, right? Veterans that played, the abused Destiny 1, right? I played the hell out of Destiny 1. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I played it every single day. I didn't play D2 very much at launch. Like, it came out, I played the story. Wow, it was awesome. And we were pardon me, we were handed this kind of silver platter in D1. They said, hey, with Destiny 2, we're going to take away random rolls so that everybody can, potentially get good weapons. You're not going to have to grind. You're not going to be kicked out of raid groups and blah, blah, blah for not having XYZ weapon, whatever. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of players drank into that, myself included. Like, I was like, wow, like, that sounds like a really good idea. Oh, we were very, very wrong. I don't remember many content creators expressing concerns for it. I think that the most content creators, most of the big ones out there, were like, hey, this is good. This is going to be good. You're not going to have to be kicked out of raid groups for not having XYZ roll on whatever weapon. Everybody's going to have the same rolls. But of course, Destiny 2 launched, and it was butt cheeks, and its player base dropped off immensely. Like in droves, players were leaving, and Bungie was literally on its last leg. And of course, let's remember, at that time, Destiny was the only thing that Bungie had going for it, right? So if Destiny failed, Bungie failed. So Bungie, they said, okay, we've got to get something together that's gonna really bring players back. So what they do, Forsaken, right? And Forsaken definitely delivered what players wanted. It brought back special weapons. It brought back random rolls. It brought back, entertainment and fun into the game. The Crucible was much better. The story was fantastic. Like, it brought back the grind that players loved about Destiny 1, right? So it revived the game, it revived it. Bungie basically had to over deliver or they were screwed, right? So that's Forsaken's whole situation there. But my question is, will we ever get something as good as Forsaken? Now, I know that somebody's going to argue that Witch Queen was a good expansion. And yes, Witch Queen was a fantastic one. I would say Witch Queen is probably like the second best expansion in Destiny 2, right next to Forsaken. Like it's Forsaken at the top, right? Witch Queen right under, and then, you know, however you want to organize them after that, I don't care. But Witch Queen was good, but I still think Forsaken is really the best. And there's probably some nostalgia here. I know that, like, you know, because I had played early D2 and I know that, like, you know, the random rolls were lacking. Forsaken brought those in, and like that's kind of that what's the word I'm looking for here, like bias, I guess, towards it. Like, oh, it brought back random rolls. You can't bring back random rolls again in another season. You know, we've had random rolls for years now. So of course, you know, Witch Queen, Beyond Light, Shadowkeep, all that stuff is not going to be seen as, you know, as big of a deal as Forsaken, because Forsaken brought back random rolls. But Forsaken delivered one of the biggest raid, actually the biggest raid we've ever had in Destiny 2, delivered a fantastic dungeon, which was brand new at the time, you know, and it was included when you bought Forsaken. You didn't have to buy a key to get it and whatnot. Like, you just got it for free, which, yeah, anyways. But we also had some absolute bangers of seasons after that. We had Season of the Forge, you know, with the Black Armory weapons. They looked absolutely fantastic. They performed wonderfully. The raid that we got, Scourge of the Past, was really, really fun. It was a nice, refreshing raid that wasn't so mechanic focused as it was, you know, just enemy killing, so to speak. You know, we got the Gambit season, which I know not a lot of people remember, you know, the season of, or was it the Joker's Wild, I think is what it was called. Not a lot of people remember that, but we got all the weapons we have this season way back then, and they've performed fantastic. I mean, Spare Rations, remember, Spare Rations was an absolute banger back in the day. When it was a 150, it was insane. You know, players, you couldn't get in a Crucible game and not see at least like 5 or 6 people using it, right? So I know that, like, you know, there's been a lot of good stuff come out since Forsaken, but I still think Forsaken takes it all. But will we ever get content that was as good as Forsaken? I'll just come out and tell you, no, I don't think we will. I do not think that we ever will, because Destiny 2 is not and will never be in the dire state that it was right before Forsaken. Okay? Keep in mind, pre-Forsaken, I mean, the players were leaving in droves. Like, I am a hardcore player. I play Destiny all the time, and I didn't even play Destiny 2 because it was so boring and miserable and it was in a terrible state. I stopped playing. Many other players stopped playing. I mean, you go back and look at content creators, and content creators were scraping for Destiny content to make, you know, and their views were so low because nobody was playing Destiny at the time, because it was boring, quite frankly. Okay? That's the first reason why I don't think the Destiny 2 will ever get another Forsaken, is because no matter how bad Destiny 2 gets, like in the current state, like I said, the current state of Destiny 2 is the second worst time we've ever been in. But we still have millions and millions, or not millions, but we have tens of thousands of players still playing, you know, buying expansions, spending money on Everburst, stuff like that. Like, as long as players are still constantly playing Destiny 2, we're never going to get the content to the same degree as Forsaken. I don't even think Final Shape will deliver as much as Forsaken did. And that's, I hope it does. I really hope that, you know, Final Shape brings in like the best expansion that we have ever got, like goes out with a bang, so to speak, right? But I don't think it will. And not only that, but remember that Bungie, at the time Forsaken launched, it was Destiny 2 or you're done. Right? If Destiny 2 fails, Bungie fails as a company. We said that a second ago, right? Now Bungie has Marathon. Okay, so they've already got another title out. They've also got, you know, it's speculated there's a third title. What was it? Matter, I think is what it's called. It's just been speculated and stuff. But there's a third game that is potentially going to be released by Bungie. Like, Bungie's branching out into other games. So Destiny, if Destiny dies, they still have those other legs to lean on, right? Plus, they were just acquired by Sony, so Sony's also backing them up. If they start losing whatever, blah, 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 Sony can come in and potentially help to fix that situation. They can send, you know, more money or developers or whatever over to Bungie, right? So Bungie's not in that same mindset of, we've got to make Destiny 2 work or we are screwed. And yeah, like, I know the argument currently is like, well, you know, Marathon's still at least probably what, like a year or so from shipping, right? So like if Destiny 2 failed, you know, in a year, like blah, 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 Destiny 2 won't fail in a year. You know, they've got content planned out through the final shape, but Destiny's player base is no longer what it was in D1. Okay, D1 consisted, in my opinion, of primarily hardcore, truly invested players. Destiny 2 now has a ton of casuals in it. That's why the Eververse story works so well, you know, and Astacross and Datto broke that down in their video, so you can go watch them. But that's why Destiny 2 will not fail before these other titles launch, you know, and before Final Shape comes. Because honestly, Bungie could say, you know what, after Final Shape, we are doing nothing more with D2. We are literally just abandoning it. We're going to keep the servers open for a few years, maybe, if you're lucky, and then that's it, and it's done. And they wouldn't go underground. They wouldn't sink. Okay, they would make Marathon work, you know, because that's their new title. It's new, it's big, it's going to bring in a lot of revenue that first couple months, you know, and then depending on how good it is, maybe it'll keep bringing in more revenue, right? But it's Destiny 2 is not ever going to be in the state that it was pre-Forsaken. So we will never get a Forsaken. Forsaken was Bungie's last ditch effort to, we got to ship this, we got to over-deliver, so to speak, over-deliver, right? We have to over-deliver to bring players back to our game, because if not, we are down. We're done. We're toast, right? So, you know, that's the reason why we won't get another Forsaken. How do we make Bungie give us another Forsaken? At this point, I don't think we can. I really don't think we can. I think they have so much going for Marathon right now that even if everybody stopped playing Destiny 2 today, right now, they would be fine. You know, they would say, okay, like we're gonna stop adding content, blah blah blah. Destiny 2, we're gonna allocate resources to Marathon, and when Marathon ships, that's gonna bring us back up. So I don't think realistically we can ever, you know, force Bungie's hand, because that's what happened. Remember, that's what happened with Forsaken. Bungie had their hand forced to give us the absolute premium of premiums, right? We're never going to get that. But of course, the only way that we could is if literally everybody just stopped playing D2 and stopped spending money on it, right? Because if you have players step away and go play Diablo 4, that's one of the new ones. That's a huge one right now. If players step away and go play games like Diablo or, you know, Warframe, whatever game you want to play besides Destiny 2, Bungie's going to say, uh-oh, Destiny 2 is not looking too good right now. Like, this is our primary source of income. And, you know, yes, we have Marathon, but there's also the possibility that Bungie looks at Marathon and says, hey, we don't know if it's going to succeed. I don't think they're doing that. I really don't think they're doing that. But there's always the possibility that Bungie is looking at Destiny and thinking, hey, this is going to be our cash cow. Even after Marathon launches, Destiny 2 is still going to be our cash cow. Because, of course, there's every chance that Marathon flops on its face, you know, like D2 did whenever it launched, you know. And I think D2, the only reason it succeeded is because it had such a strong player base from D1. If Marathon flops at the start, Marathon's done. It's toast, right? You can't recover from that. Destiny 2 was only able to recover from its flop when it first launched because D1 was so popular, right? But yeah, you want to make Destiny 2, you want to force Bungie to make an absolute banger for the final shape, stop playing Destiny 2. Which I know that, you know, I'm speaking to people who, you know, are going to take that and wad up, throw in the trash, like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm probably not going to do that. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I know it's hypocritical to say we need to stop playing. Actually, I'm not really saying we need to stop playing. I'm saying the only way to stop it. I'm speaking facts here. You know, the only way to make Final Shape as good as Forsaken was is for everybody to stop playing. But that's why I'm saying it won't happen. You know, we can hope and dream that Final Shape will be as good as Forsaken, and whatever comes after Final Shape is as good as Forsaken, but it won't happen, unfortunately. That's just the reality of it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments. You know, if you are a new Destiny player, or when I say new, I mean like maybe post Shadowkeep Destiny player, like let me know your thoughts on this. You know, let me know your thoughts on whether or not you think that Bungie is going to deliver something as good as Forsaken was. I really don't think they will, but, you know, I want to hear your thoughts on it in the comments below. Of course, if you like the video, drop a like. It helps the channel out a whole lot. Whole lot, please. And then, of course, subscribe for more daily Destiny content. And yeah, with that being said, watch the video you see on the end screen, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you'll like it, and I will see y'all in the next one. We're out.